and welcome back to my channel. Today we are doing something really fun. So as you'll know by the title of this video, I am going to be ranking every single Taylor Jenkins Reid book from least favourite to favourite. Now, I have finally read her entire backlist and I'm so pleased with myself. So I have all the books here and then we're just going to go through and rank them basically. So there are technically 9 in total. One that I'm not sure a lot of people know about, which is actually my 9th place one, which leads us very swiftly into what we're actually doing. So in 9th place we have Evidence of the Affair, which is her little Amazon short story thing. This one's really interesting, right? It's basically like, there's no dialogue, it's not like a story, it's just like told through letters between these two people whose partners are cheating on them with the other person's partner, if that makes sense. And I was like, at first I was very confused, like how is this whole entire story gonna get told properly to convey all the emotions and stuff through this? But actually it's done so well and I just don't know how she does it. It's my least favourite because it's a short story, so you can't get as much like depth into it as you can with her novels, and it wasn't my favourite, but like I still enjoyed it and had a great time reading it. And I think I read it back in maybe like April, I'm not sure. It was on Prime Reading I think when I read it. Anyway, then coming in at number 8, so now we're on to her actual physical novels that everyone knows. Number 8 I've put Forever Interrupted. Now I wanted to be able to place this higher because I do really love this book. Like, contrary to it being my lowest position, literally I don't think I've rated any of these books less than 4 stars. So although I did and ah about swapping this one and the one above it, but in 8th place I've put Forever Interrupted. So this follows Elsie and Ben. They're newlyweds. They've only been together for like a year maybe at the most. I can't remember exactly how long. But they've only been married for like 10 days. And Ben goes out one night to get her a snack that she's after and he gets hit by a car and dies on impact. That's not a spoiler, it's on the back of the book. And it's basically following Elsie and her grief and the grieving process and coming to terms with meeting Susan, his mum, who doesn't even know that she exists because they've never met. But obviously Elsie's seen like pictures of her. It's really interesting to see their relationship development in the past, but also Elsie's relationship development with Susan in the present, and like coming to terms with everything and how it all rounds off. Then in at number 7 I've got Maybe in Another Life. This one was really interesting concept. So you follow Hannah, who's just moved back to Los Angeles, and she's living with her best friend Gabby and her husband, and they all go for like a night out with some friends to celebrate her coming back to Los Angeles, and Gabby and Mark are ready to leave and they ask if she's going to go with them. So she has this choice to stay out with Ethan, who is her ex and her high school like love interest, but they still have like a thing for each other, or go home with Gabby and Mark. So you follow both alternate sort of timeline perspectives and the development of those, and it's very interesting to see how much is similar, how much is different, you know, if one true soulmate really exists, if things are meant to be, or like how different your life could be if you made one simple decision basically. And I really loved this one a lot. Obviously I love all these books, hence why like there's no bad book in this bunch. These are all like top books for me. It's just I had to pick an order, which I know I'm probably going to get quite a bit of like hate for this one being in at number 6. But my 6th place is actually Daisy Jones and the Six. Like, do not get me wrong, okay? I absolutely adore this book. And, like, most of the ones from here on out are, like, over a 4 star for me. And I was looking back on it and I was thinking, I do really love this book so much. But, and, like, you might be able to tell how much I tabbed it, I don't know. But a lot basically, and I think there's just some elements in it that aren't quite my cup of tea for me, but the romance in it, like everything that happened, like the whole gossip aspect and seeing their rise to fame and the development of the band and things. I absolutely adore this book. You cannot go wrong with Daisy Jones and the Six, and I've heard loads of people say that the audiobook is great, so if you want to give it a go, maybe try the audiobook if you don't want to read the actual physical thing. But it's basically all like dialogue because it's like told in interview style, and I just love the way that she formats all of the books in this like series, if you will, because they're all just so interesting. But yeah, that's my 6th place. Sorry, please don't come for me. Everyone's entitled to their own opinion. Leave yours nicely in the comments below. So the 5th place book is actually After I Do. I was not expecting this to be up this high. I honestly thought that this might have been like 8th place. But I loved it so much. You follow Lauren and Ryan, who are a married couple who've been together for like maybe 11 years, I want to say. I can't remember exactly how long. But they're like high school sweethearts. They've been married for a while. And their marriage is just falling apart and crumbling, basically. They don't have a spark. Everything's just like, they've lost the love. Everything's not right, basically. So they decide to take a year apart, no contact whatsoever, and see if at the end of that year they can rekindle things and work on things and come back together stronger, or if they decide that they want to part ways. And it's a really interesting concept, and I really loved seeing the flashbacks to the build of their relationship in the beginning, but also how they dealt with things in the present. Then next, in 4th place, I really wasn't expecting this to be a 4th place option. I honestly thought it might have been further down the list, but I keep thinking about it, and I read it like over a year ago, and I just can't shake the attachment that I have to Nina especially, and that is Malibu Rising, because this is 4th place because it's so good. You get the build-up of like the family dynamic and things woven into the first half of this book. So you see their lives growing up, you see Mick Reven being really absent and not being there, and Nina having to basically shoulder the responsibility of her siblings. And then you also get the present day where they're building up to working on getting ready for this, throwing this big summer party. And then the second half, you just get the party and you get so many things revealed. So many things happen, and I was just like, wow, I keep thinking about it, like, it's just so good. And it's a perfect summer read as well. I think this is such a great like beach read because they're surfers as well, so it's all set around like them living on a beach and going surfing quite a lot, and so good. And I really resonate with Nina in this, and I loved it so much. Then 3rd place, I can't believe this is only in 3rd place. I have Carrie Soto's Back. This book, oh my god, this book, this and the next 2 are all 5-star reads. So I had quite a like tough job deciding the order. I loved Carrie Soto's character in this, how she's like so determined, and you see the build up of like all of the training that she had to put in to be the big talent that she is and the star. Her comeback for her title and how this ends, and like people's perspective of her being so off because they think she's this standoffish, really like stuck up woman, when actually she's just a woman in her field that's trying so hard to do like what she wants to do. I didn't even care that it was tennis heavy and like there was like tennis bits in it that I didn't necessarily understand, because she made it so easy to understand. And to go into like a sports centered book, you've got to expect there to be like a decent amount of sport element in it. Like I just recently read Throttled, and you've got to expect there's going to be Formula 1 aspects in it, because that is literally what this driver's life is centered around, just like her life is centered around tennis. I just love, definitely recommend this one if you want something that's going to be like quite hard hitting and more so about character development and the plot of someone trying to defend their title. Then we have 2 books left, so you might be shocked by the order that these are in, you might not, I don't know. But my second place which I think most people might expect to be first place, but is second only just, and that is The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo. I know some people don't really like this book anymore, and some people have a bit of beef with it, and my friend actually DNF'd it when we read it together. We were trying to buddy read it, and she didn't get very far because she just couldn't get into it, which is perfectly fine. Each to their own. Everyone's got their own opinion. Normally our opinions are very much the same, but obviously this book was our conflict point of interest, shall we say. But this book, just the depth and everything in it, and like how it comes full circle, the glitz and the glamour of her lifestyle, everything that happens, finding out who her true love is, and just everything that develops along the way, and what she has to go through as a woman trying to make it in this industry in that specific time period. This song literally gives me Lavender Haze vibes, because I'm like, that is what this book is. So if you love Lavender Haze by Taylor Swift, give this book a go. Please try it, maybe, if you want to read a Taylor Jenkins Reid book, because even if you don't love it and you DNF it and you don't like it, that's fine, but you, so much about this book I love so much, like when she chips her tooth on the TV. I love this book so much. But the only book of hers which I love more than that, and the last final remaining book which has made it to my first place top spot, is One True Loves. This follows a girl called Emma and her high school sweetheart Jessie, and they've been together since they were in high school. They got married and it's about to be their anniversary, and he goes on a plane and goes missing and is presumed dead. And then she, in the years that follows, this isn't spoilers by the way, it's all on the back of the book, she, in the years that follows, has to come to terms with that and get back to living her life, basically. And then she meets Sam, and you follow, so she's at a family dinner, and I think they're like engaged, her and Sam, and it's like they're going to be getting married. She gets a phone call and it's from Jesse, and he says, "I'm alive, I'm coming home." So then she has to make her mind up and decide. Technically she never fell out of love with Jesse, and they never divorced or split. It was just she thought he was dead, but she's now with this other guy, so she has to decide who she wants to be with. And now I don't normally like love triangles, right, but this one I was like, okay, at first I actually didn't care who she ended up with, then I was so glad that she makes the decision that she does. Also, this little side note, this has been made into a Amazon Prime movie. I watched it a couple of months ago in the summer and it was actually pretty decent. It wasn't exactly how I pictured the book, but adaptations never really are. They do take liberties and they don't make it exactly the same. So maybe watch the film if you want. It was good enough, like it was a good adaptation I thought, but just not my favourite. But this book, the things that happen and what she has to go through and deal with, like to come to terms with thinking that you've lost someone, or like losing someone, because in her mind that was what had happened, and then they come back and then you have to, I just can't fathom it personally, you know. And this was just so well done. Like I just honestly, all the stars, because I love this so much. This is my winner. So this is our final ranking. Hopefully you enjoyed this video and found it interesting. As I say, I'm so glad that I finally got through her entire backlist. And yeah, if you did enjoy the video, please give it a thumbs up, and remember to subscribe if you haven't already. Leave a comment letting me know your favourite Taylor Jenkins Reid books, or if you've read them all, how you would rank them. And yeah, hopefully you enjoyed the video, and hopefully I will see you in another one very soon.